So this time, I think I'm going to actually talk about arguing with 16-year-old roommate, because last time I kind of talked about matching with a Tinder date, right? Through my last live stream. So if you had missed that, I'm going to upload that video as well. So yeah, feel free to watch it. But during this live stream, yeah, why don't I talk about arguing with a 16-year-old genius? All right, so here we go. So this happened when I was at Berkeley, right? I believe I was in my third year of college, and yeah, it was a semester of my third year, and I moved in to this dorm. It was a suite double, right? So it was just me and my roommate. And when I first saw my roommate, I was kind of shocked because he looked very young. He looked like a little kid. So I was like, what the heck, right? Is he really going to be my roommate? I mean, I don't have anything against like young kids, but it was just very weird because I was just expecting a college kid of my age, not a 16-year-old, right? Anyways, when we first met, I introduced myself, introduced himself, and yeah, he seemed like a nice guy or a nice kid. And first week there was no issue. However, second week comes around, I noticed that he starts to play his video games on his laptop, which is fine. I'm a gamer. I have nothing against gamers, right? But then the problem was that he was using his headphones, right? Talking to his friend when he plays, and that's fine too. But the issue was that he would play his game pretty much every day, almost all day, well into the night, as late as like 4 or 5 in the morning. And this happened every freaking day. And how am I supposed to get asleep if I have my roommate right next to me playing video game on his laptop, talking to his friend? And he was playing I think he was playing Counter-Strike. So it's an FPS game, right? I don't know if you guys are familiar with Counter-Strike, but there's a lot of mouse clicking, right? I mean, I guess any video game there's a lot of mouse clicking, but there's a lot of mouse clicking, right? And it's pretty intense game, FPS, first-person shooting game, right? So even him without let's say he doesn't even talk to his friend, still you could hear loud mouse clicking and keyboards. And on top of that, he's talking to his friend all night, playing his video games. And I don't know, I was just trying to be patient with him, right? And I was like, you know what? I'll just let it go. Because I don't know, it was a little kid and I felt like he doesn't really understand, I guess, the concept of courtesy, or the concept of quiet hours and whatever, right? And eventually I got used to it, and the first semester, so there was no issue with him. But second semester came around, it's still the same, right? He's playing his video games, and this is my mistake on my end though, but one time I had a girl over and she ended up sleeping, right? And in my room. And I guess that really triggered or that really irritated my roommate, like how there was another person in the room that slept over. And he ends up freaking telling on like a resident, I don't know what it's called, I forget. But there's like a person that kind of manages like each floor. Like they live like in the dorm with us and on the same floor. And he goes and tells on me to this person that I had an uninvited a guest overnight. So that which escalated to have a meeting with the floor person. And that really actually pissed me off. Even if like at the time I felt like I should have let him know, or I should have asked him. But somehow I guess like I just assumed that it was gonna be okay, right? Because I was like giving him a lot of break when he was playing video games. And also on top of that, there was another thing I was giving a break for too. Like for example, like in our room we had a trash can we shared together, right? And he never ever freaking took out the trash ever. And throughout the whole first semester, I was the one that took out the trash. And he used the trash can just as much, but he never took out the trash. And again, I just let it go. But that one time I freaking like had a guest over, he can't let it go, right? But anyways, so it led to me had to have a meeting with a floor manager, and pretty much I didn't get a warning, right? And she was saying how, hey, like, and I was like, okay, like it was my fault. I'll admit it to that, like that was my fault. But I was like pretty much telling her, but like, you know, this is kind of like shitty situation for me because, you know, like I've been like giving her a lot of break. I feel like he has been breaking house rules too, because he was playing video games all day, all night, not respecting like the quiet hours, and I pretty much have to like sleep through like him while he's playing his video games with a friend overnight. And I put up with that, I let it go. But like this one time I made a mistake of having an overnight guest. Like he decides to tell on me, like calling me out. Like I feel like I'm like being treated like a bad guy here, but I'm not sure if that's fair. And like we have like a trash, so pretty much I was like telling her everything, right? Because I got pissed at that point. And then she was like, oh, like I didn't know that happened. And she was like, yeah, like you're right, like it's not fair for you to like, you know, like put up with that. He has to respect the quiet hours, and I'll have a meeting with him as well, right? So after that meeting, like I guess, yeah, she did have a meeting with my roommate. But like we're pretty much after that meeting, I was pretty pissed off, right? So as soon as I had a meeting, I kind of like confronted him, right? So I was like, let's call him John, right? Hey, like I was like, hey John, like I just had a meeting, like I'm sorry that like I brought a overnight guest without telling you. That was my fault. However, like I have been like putting up, and I've been trying to understand, like being like I've been trying my best to be like understanding of your situation, of you playing video game like all night long with your friend. You're like yelling and like screaming, and like I still like let it go, you know. I did not like call on you, like tell on you, you know. I know like how much you like your video games, and I let it go. And like this one time I make a mistake, like why couldn't you let me know first before you just go like straight to our house like floor manager and like call me out on it? Like I feel like that's unfair. And also like on top of that, like we share this trash can in the common area in our room. Like I was the one during the first semester, I was the one that was taking it out every time it was full. I've never seen you take it out. I still let it go. Like there are things that I like just put up with, I've been putting up with, still decide to let it go. Try my best to be understanding, but like why couldn't you do the same? Like, why couldn't you like give me the benefit of the doubt like I did? And then, but that conversation did not go well. He was still like saying how like it's like you should have not have done that, like you should not have like overnight guests, just breaking the rules. I was like, but you were breaking the rules too, like of not respecting the like quiet hours. You're not supposed to make noise during the quiet hours. Like you're playing your video games, you're making like all those noise, mouse clicking and talking to your friend, right? Weren't you breaking the house rules too? And he was like, well, you know, like, well, I don't know, like he was trying to like make some excuses. Like he was like, oh, I let it go. But anyways, yeah, that's how it ended. And pretty much we didn't really like make up. After the argument, we were like cold towards each other and we never really talked, unless we had to. So like before, like we'll say hi and like good morning and good night and whatnot, but now it's like all like very dry, very mechanical interaction. What ended up happening is that he actually decided to break the contract during the second semester and move out of the apartment. And we never really like argued to the point where we ended up cussing at each other. It was very civil, right? I didn't really exactly raise my voice either, but like I was pretty like straightforward, right, upfront about it. But I guess that made him really uncomfortable maybe, and like the whole situation, we becoming like kind of awkward with each other, kind of made him really uncomfortable as well, which might have been the reason why he decided to move out. So that's what happened with arguing with my 16-year-old roommate. That was quite an experience. And I mean, looking back though, like I think, I don't know, I was like, you know, a couple of years older than him, and I still feel like I probably should have been like more understanding and like communicated better. So like when he playing video games with his friends late at night bothered me, I think I should have let him know, like communicated that with him. But like I just like me like letting it go, I think probably like had me just bottle up some resentment towards him, right? And I don't know, I think there was a lot of assumptions that was made on my end. So like I should have communicated. Maybe I was afraid to speak up too or bring it up, right? But so that's what happened.